This week on Tomboy T-Rod, Asia's biggest and only all-female comedy chat podcast.
We are trapped in an abandoned amusement park with the team behind the hit viral video, The Real Housewives of Westeros, consisting of Cesar Gamino and Suzy Lose from the Dirty Q's Productions and one of the regular actresses, Monica Platt.
And it is haunted by the undead who feed on human flesh.
Don't be silly! Zombies only exist in stories and movies.
I won't be so sure, Raven. Well, still, we'll keep it together as we enjoy another epic episode of Tomboy T-Rod. Not tirade or T-Ray, but T-Rod, the way we like to say. Isn't that right, ladies?
That's right.
Yeah,
Let's go get some zombies.
Okay, sure.
It's epic and more galactic than a supermassive black hole. Introducing Asia's biggest and only all-female English comedy chat podcast. Welcome to Tomboy T-Rod.
Did you hear that? The Ferris wheel is moving. Look!
Well, don't be silly. It's all in your imagination. This amusement park has been abandoned for weeks.
Yeah, so why are we even here? This place is giving me the creeps. Ugh, is that a clown car looking at me? I swear, it blinked. Right there.
We are on the run from the zombies, remember? Persis? According to Google Maps, this is the only place in the whole of Singapore that is free from the Walking Dead. I only have one brain, and I would like to keep it intact, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm sure. One brain? Probably half. Okay, so are you sure? We have no food or weapons, you know. How are we gonna survive the zombie apocalypse?
Another rule. Find a useful group that can keep you alive. My Joanna Survival Guide to Zombies is writing itself.
Joanna, are you writing a book on this or something? Compiling all this?
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Shut up, guys. There's someone or something over there? Can you see it?
Zombies! We are dead!
Shut up, you idiots. Get their attention.
Follow us now if you want to live.
How do we know you're not a zombie? You guys kind of smell like rotting flesh, like you haven't bathed for weeks. Ooh.
Would a zombie bother to hold a conversation with you? I mean, they would just go straight for your brains.
Good point. Rule number 20. Zombies do not hold conversations.
Rule number what? Jeez, these tomboys are so difficult. Should we just leave them out as let them become zombie munchies?
But if we don't recruit new members, how are we going to claim our amusement park from the zombies?
You know what? I think we are perfectly capable of taking care. Oh, wait. Are those guys part of your gang? And why are they shuffling like Michael Jackson in Thriller? Do you know them?
Oh no. I know what that is.
Great. They saw us. Bye, tomboys. Have a good life.
Wait, we're coming! Please, let us come with you, please!
Then what are you waiting for? Come on, run!
Thanks, guys, for saving our lives. All this running from zombie cardio is really giving me some PS cows. Take a look at them. So nice. But seriously, a Game of Thrones theme house? Like, you guys know that I like this or something? Nice setup you guys have here.
Well, before the world was taken over by zombies, we used to run this space and even have a cast of actors pretending to be Game of Thrones characters. Back in our heyday, the Game of Thrones house was the most popular attraction in this amusement park.
I don't feel comfortable with those hats in the hall. Joanna's survival rule number 21, avoid rooms with hats in them.
Is your friend okay? Why is she obsessed about rules and stuff?
Yeah, remember that Zombieland movie where Columbus comes up with a set of rules for surviving in a zombie-infested world? Well, our friend Joanna became a little bit obsessed ever since half of the world turned cuckoo.
We request that everybody stays calm at the current moment, for there is a zombie apocalypse currently happening on the West Coast. Do stay inside, and do not go out under any circumstances. If any zombies happen to get into your house, shoot them in the head or remove the head from the brain.
Oh, hang on, guys. Let me just take a selfie with the model of Edward Stark being executed. Hey, cheers!
Oh, God, you're sick, Raven. You're sick.
I feel you guys. Monica's become insufferable ever since the zombies overran the theme park. She actually thinks she is Ilaria.
I am the most powerful woman in Dawn. Why am I stuck in this desolate place?
Well, I'm sure you can be a queen again if you can find a way to control those zombies. Well, besides running the Game of Thrones attraction, Cesar Gamino and Susie Lose are behind the viral hit The Real Housewives of Westeros. Launched in 2012, Dirty Q's Productions first created a digital Latino series and then started making comedy videos which went viral, including Angela versus Bath Body Works. That's quite funny. And also Tommy Chong's Lincoln commercial and the Cops Manitowoc Sheriff Department series. I hope I pronounced that right. Manitowoc, right?
Manitowoc, yeah.
Yeah. And then joining us today is Monica Plant, who play Ilaria Sun. She's an actress, producer, and creator, all rolled into one sexy package. You can catch her on ABC's Emmy-nominated series Nashville as Natasha, the sexy love interest to series lead Eric Close.
Coming this fall to Bravo. Winter is still coming. And so is the drama. It's the Real Housewives of Westeros.
Who does a girl have to screw around here to become queen?
Those who think they know me can bow down and blow me.
The best weapon is between my legs.
I am Daenerys Stormborn of the House Targaryen, first of her name, the unburnt Queen of...
If payback's a bitch and revenge is sweet, then I'm the sweetest bitch you'll ever meet.
The night is dark and full of horror.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Woo, yay!
Thank you.
Hey.
All right, so welcome to Tomboy Tirade, and our first question is for Susie and Cesar. Like, how did the idea of Dirty Q's production come about?
Well, we wanted to start shooting something, and what we had was a plethora of talented actors around us. And Susie's strength is in writing, so we came up with some different ideas. We had to switch it around, and she wanted to really start focusing more on Latino-themed stories. Since I'm half Mexican and half Colombian, she'd ask me, does this make sense? Does this make sense? Yeah. So she'd start writing out all the stories, and that's how this series came about.
Yeah, that's how the web series came about. And then we started shooting just funny comedy sketch videos, and those are the ones that started going viral right away. So after our first one went viral, about 1 million people saw the Angela versus Bath and Body Works. We were hooked, we were addicted, and we just kept making more and more, and that's why...
on the show, like huge Game of Thrones fans.
Over here.
And we find I was watching the video of The Real Housewives of Westeros. It was quite hilarious. And the person that plays Marjorie actually kind of really looks a little bit like her. And like, how did you guys like come up with this idea for that specific parody video?
Us three here are very big fans of the Game of Thrones as well. And as you see from our videos, Dirty Q's loves to do parodies. And I can't actually take full credit for the initial idea because on the internet, it went a little bit, people kept saying there should be a Real Housewives of Westeros because the women have that sort of bitchiness against each other. So when everybody kept asking for us, I said, why don't we step up as that group to go ahead and take a stab at this? And people seem to really love it.
Oh, so for Monica, what is it like playing your character? How do you prepare for the role? Do you watch Game of Thrones yourself?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All the Ilaria parts and then just keep looping them.
Exactly. That's kind of what I did. I watched it over and over again just to get her accent. And I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, so I'd seen every episode anyway, so it wasn't that hard. And it was really fun. She's a badass.
A cool badass. Like a swan, cool very smooth on the surface and like paddling below. Or in a way, she's killing below,
That's a very funny metaphor, City, because usually you would think of them as the sand snakes, right? Like the daughters of the sand snakes.
I know, but
you would think that she would be like a big snake.
Pretty much. You don't want to turn your back to Ilaria.
Yep.
Exactly.
You slowly back away, but you don't turn your back. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's open the next question to the floor. So what is the process for the shoots like?
Well, a lot of it is pre-production, planning. Once we had the script set, we thought about the actors that we know that look like the character, and then we'd ask them, would you feel comfortable portraying this? Can you do it? Kat Primo was playing Marjorie, and she goes, oh yeah, I can do the little lip thing. Monica, when did we ask you? I don't remember. What was it like?
You just asked me if I wanted to play Ilaria, and you asked if I could possibly do the accent. And I said, yeah, of course.
Her accent is actually a made-up accent. It's not even a real accent.
Yeah,
so
Ilaria's
that's
accent.
the toughest one to do.
Yeah. But Susie and I spent, I don't know, like a couple of weeks. How many weeks looking up the costumes, the wigs, the props, ordering all that stuff to try and get it on time. And the shoot was like 3 or 4 days?
3 separate shoot days.
3 separate shoot days, one at the house, one with the green screen in the backyard, and then another one with
in the Hollywood Hills.
In the Hollywood Hills.
We shot a lot of the outdoor space that you see. It looks kind of like that castle background.
Yeah, we wanted to get the whole video finished before the second to last episode of Game of Thrones that season. But for some reason, HBO didn't take off Memorial Day, which they traditionally did. And they played an episode then. So then we were like, oh my God, we have to get this done before the show ends this season. So we actually got it finished. I think it was like 4 days before the last episode. I stayed up, I don't know, all night into the morning to try and edit as fast as I could. I had some of it pre-edited from working before, but it was a mad dash, and, watching it over while editing it, laughing over and over. I knew it was gonna be something good.
I was laughing over and over because, to be honest with you, I saw that video before I think during that time, and the fact that Raven told us that we are gonna be interviewing you guys today, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah! So I love it. Okay, I love the video, and I'm a big fan of you guys. So I mean,
thank you.
I mean, obviously, it went viral. Like, it reached to our shores here as well. So, are you surprised by the reaction to the video? And did you know it was going to be a hit when you were producing it?
I knew it had a really big potential to be big. And our actors are so talented. I knew they were up for the challenge. And I knew if it looked the way we wanted to look, which, we're experienced at this point to do that. But it's always, you're always taking a chance. You never know for sure. But once we uploaded it and then the articles just was written about it even like within that night.
Yeah, there was a lot of online articles. We collected them all. They're on our website, dirtycues.com, on the press page. And it's just, everyone really liked it.
So it's such a fun idea. And again, I think it was all about if we could execute it well and the jokes were there. And I know when I was writing it, you know, I thought it was funny. So luckily everyone else did too.
Yeah.
Cool. So now Cersei is crowned the queen of Westeros, pretty much. So how do you think Ilaria will react to Cersei as a real housewife?
Oh, I think Ilaria is going to take the bitch down.
Yeah!
So, did you tomboys want to join us for a humble dinner? I know it's not much, but our offerings would satisfy a hungry stomach.
Oh, thank you, Cesar. We are so touched by your generosity in these tough times.
Lord of light, come to us in our darkness. We offer you these false gods. Take them and cast your light upon us. For the night is dark and full of terrors.
Huh? Is that Melisandre's voice? What's she doing here?
Thanks for the vote of reassurance, Shadowbinder, as if it is not creepy enough to hide out in this Hall of the Faces.
Over here, this is how we say our grace before our meals. Then we tell each other ghost stories.
Well, I have to admit, our prayer is slightly less optimistic than most religions have.
But it has kept us alive and safe from the zombies.
Sure, if you say so.
Okay, let's hold hands now and say our prayers together.
Lord,
cast your light upon us, for the
light is dark and full of terrors.
Great. This night couldn't get any worse.
Okay, so who's going to start first? How about me? I got a story. Well, actually, it's a real life encounter. So I used to go to this secondary school. And this school is a highly competitive school. So every other year, someone will commit suicide or go off their rails. It's true. So near my classroom, there's this restroom. So sometimes I go there after break, and it's okay when there are people there, but once I went there when there was no one in the toilet. So, well, I just go in, close the door of the cubicle, do my business, everything is fine. I hear the sound of someone coming in, wash their hands, and, leave, which is, pretty normal. I mean, I didn't think much of it. But then when I want to leave the cubicle, I found the door being stuck. So I was trying to wrestle, why can't I get out? So I was banging the door, I was shouting and everything, but the door wouldn't budge. And finally, I just shoved my way out. So I went to the basin and I noticed that all the sinks are all dry. So I was like, okay, well, that's weird. The next time, exact same thing happened to me. So I'll be in the cubicle, someone will come in, and and sometimes they will flush their toilets and they will wash their hands and they will leave the bathroom, and then after that, immediately when I try to get out, I'll get stuck again. So I'll be hammering the door for a few minutes until I shove my way, pretty much use my body weight to shove my way out. And then I'll look at the basins, they're dry, and this happened to me a couple of times. And after a while, I was like, okay, probably it's not a good idea to go to the washroom by myself anymore.
I'll go to that one. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think so. So later I found out that actually my school was pretty haunted because of all these suicides and weird stuff going on. And also it is the site of World War II Mexico. So people actually died there during World War II. So because what happened is some of my friends that actually, when they're in the toilet early in the morning, they actually hear strange noises, people in very deep voices and talking to them in a foreign language, possibly Japanese, talking to them because we are Singapore was invaded by the Japanese. Yeah, so I was like, wow, like creepy shit. They were like, oh my god, and then they ran out of the toilet. So yeah, after that I was like, okay, creepy toilet.
That's why ladies go to the toilet together.
Yeah,
Yes, that's why.
That's why.
I didn't know that.
Well, I have a couple, but I think the one that was scariest was, well, luckily for me, a friend of mine was there who doesn't believe in ghosts, and she saw it too. So I had a witness. I used to live in this house that was on the second story, and on the back wall, I had this giant oak armoire, like a big closet, and a mirror was over it. And my friend and I were kind of on either side of it, talking across the room. And then all of a sudden, this loud, clap happened, and we both turned our heads, and the mirror and the armoire were both suspended. The mirror was 6 inches off of the wall.
What?
And the armoire was teetering on its front legs.
Oh my gosh.
And just hanging there. And my friend started to reach out for the armoire, but this was a solid oak armoire. There's no way.
Yeah.
It would have broke her arm. So I was like, no, take your hand away. And, as soon as she pulled her arm away, they both crashed. The armoire fell face forward and the mirror crashed down on top of it. And the drapes on the other side of my house were moving. Yeah. So whatever it was came in one side, knocked everything over, and went out the other side of my house.
Wow.
And it was funny because there's windows right there, and people could hear. People were walking by, and they were like, "Oh my God, are you guys okay?" And my friend Susie, it was a different Susie, but my friend Susie and I were both just standing there with our mouths open and couldn't really say anything. And I was like, you just saw that, right? Mm-hmm. And so ever since then, she was like, oh my God, I totally believe in ghosts because I've seen it. I mean, I've had doors unlocked, or I've had locked doors open and unlock from the inside. I've had all sorts of strange things, but that was the biggest one where, it actually moved furniture.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that here or in San Francisco?
This was here in Los Angeles.
Wow. What area of town?
In Venice.
Wow.
Do not go there.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
That's
I moved out of that place pretty shortly.
That's your own paranormal activity thing. If you had a camera watching you guys doing that, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was so crazy. I will say I have this weird thing where I've seen ghosts a couple of times, and each time I always hear that weird clap that I said. It every time I hear this, and then I turn around and then whatever is happening is happening. And it's happened to me about 4 different times in my life.
The clapping ghost.
Yeah. So
no, it's something about how it gets my attention.
Wow.
It's like, look at me, and I'm about to do a magic show, and then
exactly.
It's like a heckler ghost.
It's like, hey, show us your tits.
Wait a minute, ghosts can do that? Or was he all ghosty, show us your tits? Clap. Yes, do it. Show them. With a chain. Wow. Well, I know Hollywood is a very haunted area, in the Hollywood Hills, and there's a lot of haunted history, but I've never heard of stuff over here on the coast in Venice.
I've never had that kind of thing happen, where it clearly was an angry ghost that just came in one side and went out the other. Yeah.
Flyby ghost, hoping to catch a freebie of the topless, maybe. No.
Okay, who's next?
I could tell mine, I guess. All right, so this is back in the Midwest. A buddy of mine, we went to hang out with another friend and just have drinks after work. And this is back in 1995. And so we're at her apartment, and she fell asleep. And so it was her place, just like a studio apartment. So there's no other rooms, just a bathroom. So we're all in one room. And she's sleeping over there. And he and I she had a Ouija board. So beware of the Ouija board. So he and I, we're just playing around, messing with it. And then we found a spirit. And we said, oh, can you, and I want proof. So I'm like, oh, well, can you make a sound? And then the planchette moved to the word yes. I said, okay, do it. And from across the room, I mean, he's right in front of me, so it's like off to the side in the opposite direction of where our friend was. So it wasn't her, and she's asleep. We heard a moan like this. And we both freaked. We're just, oh my God. And I'm looking at him. Was that you? Was that me? And he's no. And so I needed proof again. I said, can you do that again? And it went to yes. I said, do it. And it said, and boom, I threw off the thing. I said, never touching it again. Have not touched a Ouija board. I mean, the hair on our arms was up. We were freaking out. We probably peed ourselves. We just said, that's it. And I have not touched a Ouija board since 1995 because of that incident.
Well, that's really nice of you. You left that ghost in your friend's apartment.
And she's asleep.
Gwen has since moved to Arizona.
You brought your own ghost.
Bring your own ghost.
Yeah, exactly. You could bring it with you. I mean, in the Latino culture, we have ghosts. Like my father grew up on a ranch out in the middle of nowhere, Mexico. So they'll be like, oh yeah, you hear the steps. Oh yeah, you hear it. So it's always been an accepted thing. Yeah. Americans get it too, but it's kind of like show me proof, whatever. Mm-hmm. But in the Mexican culture, they're like, okay, you just accept it. No one ever challenges it. They said, oh, we saw a ghost last night. Oh, okay. Well, was it grandmother? Yep, it was grandmother. Just like that. And they accept it. It's normal, just, that's right? Normal. Yeah, completely normal. No, but we have, I thought you were talking about a character in Mexican folklore called La Llorona. Mm-hmm. And it's this woman, her spirit goes out because she drowned her kids, I think, in like a lake because they were disobeying. And so Mexican mothers will tell their kids if they're disobeying. In Spanish, she'll be like, you kids behave, otherwise La Llorona is going to get you. She's going to come for you at night. This is normal for Spanish mothers to, threaten their children with terrifying ghost apparition appearances.
Malay mothers do that too.
And you believe
Malay
it.
mothers do that too on this end. They have this ghost that they say that, okay, you have this where you, during sunsets, you're not supposed to go out. This is I guess it's a Asian culture thing. At sunset, you're supposed to come back home and not go out and not play and not make so much noise. So they always say that if you make so much noise when you're outside, then this ghost, in Malay it's called hantu tetek, but you will translate that in English, it will actually means the breast ghost, as in a woman's breast ghost, is going to come and hide you and take you away. So when you were young, you're so petrified. You're like, no, I don't want to be hidden by this ghost, because you imagine, a ghost covered in breasts all over, hiding you away from the world. Wow. So they do that too on the other side of the world. They scare you and you just go like, oh my God, okay, I don't want to be hidden by this ghost. So
now, Susie, your sister sees spirits, right?
Yeah. She doesn't like to. But for some reason, I mean, my whole family has a little bit more of a sixth sense. I've seen ghosts as well, but not like as many as her, where I used to live in a really old apartment building that was built in like 1910, and it used to be a hotel. And I remember it was in Milwaukee before I even knew you, and I was sleeping.
What was the name of the hotel?
I don't remember, but I was sleeping and I wake up one night, and same thing with the armoire. Maybe that's where they like to hang out, but it's like a big, like wardrobe closet, and I wake up and I see this guy in like this 1920s dress with like this hat on, and he's just sitting there staring at me, and I screamed so loud. As soon as I screamed, he was gone. And then I was like, oh, maybe it was just a weird dream. But then I saw him again. I took a nap one day in my bedroom, and I had an ironing board that I'd left out because I was ironing some clothes, and I wake up out of my nap and he's just standing there with his hand on the ironing board looking at me. And again, I scream, and then it goes away. And so I decided to have a talk with the ghost, and I lit a white candle, and I said, okay, listen, I don't know if you know this, but you died. You passed away. If you don't want to go over to the other side, that's fine. But just don't show yourself to me anymore because that scares me. I'm okay if you hate to live here with me. And I never saw him again, so I don't know if he
Is that where you got the idea for the Dirty Q's episode 3, where the teacher dies and then the bruja has to come in and she says, "You've died today"? Is that from your experience where she's telling the ghost?
Oh yeah, of course. You always put a little bit of your real life into what you're writing. And I actually just finished writing with my writing partner Nancy Mejia a comedy horror called Dark Wolfgang, where it follows a 15-year-old genius Latino boy around, and he doesn't know, but he's about to inherit the family business, which is basically the business of kicking out demons out of their neighborhood and all other scary types of things. And he wants to go to school to become a famous doctor, but he doesn't realize he actually has the ability to be a really one of the world's best witch doctors.
We'll definitely be looking out for it. A Latino Ghostbusters. Yeah, so Joanna, what ghost story do you have?
So, a while ago, I had a pregnancy that didn't actually work out, so I had a miscarriage. And I knew that I was pregnant at 6 weeks because I had done it twice already. I had 2 kids, so I already knew. I went to see a doctor very early. And then I was just really, really angry for like the whole time. I don't know. I'm just really, really angry. I don't really like it. I don't know why. And then at 8 weeks, when I went to see the doctor said, there might be something wrong because the fetus is not really growing, so you have to be prepared. It might not work out. And then I kind of knew that it might not work out. I was bleeding and all this thing. And then one night, and I was sleeping, right? All of a sudden I heard, some bell ringing, like in the middle of the night. It rang 3 times. So the first time I woke up, and then I thought I heard some bell. That's really weird. I had to make sure that I'm not dreaming. So I kind of forced myself to wake up. And the second time they rang, it just continued, rang bell, however the sound that bell, is like. And the second time, I'm sure that the bell is ringing in the middle of the room, which is very strange because there's nothing in the room. It's the bedroom, right? So it rang one more time. And then I'm completely awake. I didn't know why. So and then the next day, I told my husband about it. And then I also went to see a doctor. It's a time appointment. Apparently the baby is no longer there. It's gone. And I was telling my husband, I said, that's very strange. Like in the night, I heard like the bell ring 3 times. Like I was sure there's some kind of sign, but I don't know what it is. And my husband told me that in his village, there's a bell thing in the middle of the town. So it's a very small village in the Czech Republic. It's about 200 people live there. And whenever someone dies, some guy in the village is responsible to go there and ring the bell. And then he was thinking, then maybe it's like a message. It's now, I'm leaving now. So, yeah, so I kind of feel like there may be something like that, but I wasn't sure. And I thought the bell thing is very strange. And I was completely sure it's in the middle of the room. I don't see anything. There's no bell in the room, but I was sure there's in the middle of the room. I was focusing to locate it, at that point.
Oh, wow. Well, that's so sad, though, too. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. I have 2 very kids, so it's not a problem. We were, yeah. But I thought that's very strange, like, when you think about it. Like, it's just like 10 weeks, like, how the soul want to say goodbye. I don't know. I thought it's quite sweet.
It's very sweet.
Okay, so, yeah, Persis.
Oh, mine's a bit weird because I'm kind of like Susie's sister. Like I'm a bit of a clairsentient and a bit of a psychic. So I get it from my mom. My mom also, like, when she grew up, she saw a lot of spooky things. So I've seen a lot of spooky things. Like I've like even this one time when I went to Indonesia to do research for a documentary on shamans. Because I was I was a producer. I think I still am a producer. I think. And yeah, so there's a lot of these, shamans in Indonesia. There's one for everything that you want. There's one for health. There's one for wealth. There's one for beauty. There's a specialist shaman for anything that you want in this world. So Indonesia is really obsessed about stuff like that. And I remember this was for a Discovery documentary. And I went over to Indonesia to do the research, and I met up with the local producer over there who had arranged everything with all the various shamans. And this specific shaman we went to see, he's actually quite famous in Indonesia. He has got like a ghost busting show. It's like a reality ghost busting show.
Oh, wow.
Ghost adventures in Indonesia.
Yeah, and it's like, every week he goes to a different house and does exorcisms and stuff like that. He's a very interesting guy, actually. Quite a personality. So he invited us to go to his office in Jakarta. So we went over to the office, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to demonstrate to you what kind of spirits I'm calling on to help me to do all this stuff for people." And I was like, okay. And at the time, right, because I'm psychic and I can see these things, my mom told me, like, be careful that you are not opening yourself up to, these spirits, because you need to protect yourself. So I protected myself with like a white light. I just imagined myself being protected by, a good force, by a Jedi force or something like that. And he demonstrated, it was very interesting. So he said that, in Indonesian culture, and I believe also in Malay culture, there is this small boy, it's called Toyol. He's like a bluish or purplish kind of 2 or 3 year old boy. And they can actually, they're like poltergeists. They disturb you. But they can also do things for you, and
imagine
the shaman
minions.
culture over there. Yeah.
It's just like a real kid.
I
They
think
can
they're
disturb you and also can do things for you.
Yeah, they can do things for you.
Exactly.
I think we all want that kind of kids, right? So
Just that they're blue and grey, and botak usually.
But it's so funny because I think in most shaman cultures, they believe that there is the earthly plane, and then there's like heaven and hell or whatever there is out there. But there's this plane right in the middle, whereby there's all these spirits that they can call on to do things. So this guy sets up this ritual, and he has imagine this, right? Laid out on 2 sets of bricks. He lays out this steel machete. Okay, so it's like a machete, and he's got like smoke and camphor going on, and then he's like doing these rituals. He's throwing flowers, he's got rose water, he's doing like a complete ritual. And I'm filming all this, and then he gathers his strength, like he's doing this chant, right? And it gets progressively louder and louder and louder. And he's getting a little bit, he looks like he's in a trance-like situation. And then in that trance-like situation, at the peak of his chanting, he rolls up this wad of newspapers. And then with one fell swoop, with incredible strength, right, he takes this wad of newspapers and slices the iron machete. And I was like, what the hell?
And wait, he cut the machete? Or
yeah, a
he
machete.
Cut the newspapers with the machete?
With newspapers.
Yeah, with the newspaper. And then he then in that sort of semi-trance-like situation, he points to his left, to his right side, which is my left. And he said, look over there. And I was looking right over.
Why persist? You never turn when somebody says look over there.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't turning. I wasn't like, because I was filming him from the front. I was like, I had my handy cam there and I was filming him. And then I looked, like I kind of like turned my eyes over there and then to my left side, which was his right. And I saw the Toyol, the poltergeist kid, just peeking into the office, cause he was at the glass door at the entrance. And I was like, oh man.
That's so creepy.
This is creepy. So yeah, that's one of my many, encounters with the weird spiritual or restless spirit world. But there's a lot of these, over here in Malaysia and Indonesia, there's a lot of these very powerful shamans. They're like the African voodoo, They're really powerful. And if you mess with them, like with these shamans or if you mess with them, they can like do things to you. So
I'm sure.
There's like the good and bad. I mean, with the social media now, I think it's more like you see more of it, especially because there's this one guy. I think he's considered, I guess, the good guy. He's like a holy person, and he uses it for good. So what happened was it was also in Indonesia. I think he was walking, like you know how villages in Indonesia, they're very dark and everything. So he's just walking home, and apparently he got bombarded. Not like by zombies, but actually it's something like that. But it's like humans, but they are somewhat possessed, and they were coming at him. You know, like when I say coming, as in they were literally like you can hear the growl, and they were like growling, and they were like going to attack him and all that. And there were at least about 10 of them. And then how he fought them off is he just recited words from the Quran, and then they all started to like shout in agony and like you know, like oh my god, like they're screaming in pain and that, but they kept coming at him, and then he had to like use the force. I don't know what force he was using, but he had his hand out in a way, and he was like keep chanting and keep saying the verses and all that, and then you can see that being or that person was just like, you know, wilting and all that kind of stuff. And I keep thinking that this is not real, but he ended up just walking. He was really just walking home, and he was being documented in a way because they say that, oh, he's a holy person. He's like, no, I'm a normal person, blah, blah. I'm just doing my thing. But apparently that village that he was staying at is like infested, I do not know, with like evil spirits who get into people's bodies and use them against him. That kind of stuff. So it was really freaky. It was like a good half an hour of him just, I'm going home. He's like literally going, I was just going home. And these
definitely cross that location off of our future vacation
list.
Well, now that the storytelling down is out of the way, we should begin our dinner.
Jeez, Monica, really? God, enough with the queenly stuff.
Not again!
Found our hiding spot.
Oh god, this is the end.
Oh no! We are doomed! Doom is upon us! I don't want to die! Ah!
Being fed to the zombies is so on my bucket list. Not.
Oh, shut up, you two. Guys, think of something. The door is not going to hold for long.
There's an entire horde of zombies out there. We will never make it. Okay, say your prayers. Make your peace, everyone.
Oh, no. Not yet. I have a plan. Now, see those barrels over there? Why don't we just pour the engine oil from the machines on the floor and then light it up without matches? Poof! Goes the zombies. See? So simple.
No. It won't work.
What? Yeah, you're such a ray of sunshine, Monica. How would you know if we haven't tried it?
Well, actually, we tried the same thing before, and it blew up on us.
Which is why we're in this state.
What state?
Yeah.
You guys are not zombies, are you?
Of course not, my dear. But we are dead. Like, really dead.
I don't understand. What?
We are ghosts, silly. All of us perished during the explosion.
Then why are you still here?
Well, we're hoping to get rid of those stupid zombies and get our park back.
But it doesn't look like it's happening. You guys aren't very bright, we realize.
Yeah, why are we still here?
Let's get out of this hellhole.
Wait. You can't leave us. Don't go. I mean, you can't just abandon us here. We will be killed by the zombies.
Sorry, guys, but it's time for us to move on.
You can still try to blow the place up.
Better go out with a bang than die a slow, painful death. Hey, maybe we'll see you on the other side. Bye, Tomboy.
Bye.
Better
guys.
luck next time.
Yeah. It's
Au
gonna be
revoir.
tough.
Hope death comes to his penis.
Come on.
Hey, no! We're gonna fight these zombies! Jesus!
What bullshit is this? Come on, we don't have much time. Let's just pour out the oil.
Okay. Come on, pour the oil. Pour the oil. Okay, guys, I'm gonna salute you. It's been great doing the Tomboy T-Rad podcast with you guys. Alright, here goes nothing. Striking the match now. Alright, get ready in 3, 2, 1.
What's the smell?
Our chart flesh, probably. I normally don't wear any perfume, but when I do, it's easy de barbecue.
I just came up with a new rule. Do not trust ghosts to protect you from zombies.
Noted with thanks, best regards.
Oh boy. That's right, Joanna. Next time we will send Patty and gang to bust their asses. Okay, folks, thanks for listening to another wacky episode of Tomboy T-Rod. If you want to hear more of us, don't forget to subscribe to Tomboy T-Rod on iTunes and Stitcher, and coming soon on iTunes Radio.
Woohoo!
The show is also available for free streaming on our website, where you'll find all sorts of stuff on being a funny geek tomboy in space-time today. Check it out at www.tomboy-tarts.com.
That's right! And if you just want to connect with us outside of the show, we are also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Tumblr. Just like Tomboy Tarts!
And if you want to advertise, collaborate, or appear on this podcast or our blog, then drop us an email at hello@tomboy-tarts.com. One more time, that's hello, everyone. Hello. At tomboy-tarts.com, because we are everywhere, guys. Everywhere.
In your nightmares!
See you in another 2 weeks with a brand new episode here with Raven, Parsley City, and myself, Joanna.
Until the next 2 weeks, ciao! And adios, amigos! Andre!